सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And on the nation's sharpest opinion, I would like to say that Air India is just such a continuing mess. And just because some of the bosses of Air India pretend to be angry and upset, and the owners of Air India pretend to weep a little, and you've got some channels that say, "Did you catch a tear?" Aren't they feeling really sorry about things? Don't you feel sorry about what the Tatas are going through? Well, we don't. We have no reason to feel sorry for what the Tatas are going through, because the Tatas and Air India should feel sorry about what the people of India are going through. There is no point in obfuscating. We have the facts, and we have our contacts, and we have our sources, and our sources, I know Air India wonders where we get our sources from. Our sources are everywhere. Our sources are in Air India, our sources are in the government, our sources are among the people. And therefore, we are extremely concerned if we hear that over a 24-hour period, there have been, yes, 26 Air India flights and 3 Air India Express flights cancelled in a period of 24 hours. Yes, 26 cancellations in 24 hours. And the Civil Aviation Ministry gives Air India a clean chit and says everything okay. I don't think everything is okay, because this marks the highest cancellation since the plane crash. And of these, 12 were international routes. Republic has accessed the official log sheet. It lists technical issues as the reason for 13 of the 26 cancellations. And in order to investigate further, Republic sent a set of specific questions to Air India requesting the confirmation of 26 flight cancellations today and what exactly caused them. Not one, we sent 2 sets of questionnaires. Air India responded to the Republic Media Network saying the cancellations are pre-planned. What do you mean by that, pre-planned? We asked them again. We sent another letter that if these cancellations are pre-planned, why does the log mention so many technical reasons? Are technical faults also pre-planned? If there's a technical mess, is that pre-planned? Will anyone believe that? Because as far as anyone understands, technical faults are not scheduled in advance. Come on, Air India, you're talking to the Republic Media Network. Don't try that stunt on us. You don't plan for a plane to technically have a problem or fail. And then came what I consider to be Air India's acceptance letter. Air India's response, ladies and gentlemen, that I received just 15 minutes ago, my fantastic, brilliant news team received. And they say, of these 26 flights, 13 were disrupted due to unpredictable technical issues of different kinds. So on these 26 flights, 13 were disrupted due to unpredictable technical issues of different kinds. Unpredictable technical issues? Doesn't that directly contradict what their own claim was earlier, when they said all cancellations are pre-planned? What nonsense is this? What is Air India doing? First you say all is pre-planned, and then you say no, 13 are technical. Decide, but don't obfuscate. Which version is true? Were they planned or were they unpredictable? Were they technical or not? Because they can't be both. And if technical failures or technical faults are becoming this frequent and this unpredictable, passengers need to know the reason. Systemic. With these latest cancellations, the series of cancellations, Air India has crossed 90 flight cancellations in 7 days. Is that normal? Is that normal? What does that say about this airline? About the people running it? About how they are running it? Just the day before yesterday, Republic Media Network reported that Air India had flagged 29 technical snags in 35 days on the VT A and B aircraft, the same Boeing 787 that crashed on June 12th with 242 passengers on board. All of you were shocked, but that's also a fact. Even then, we had reached out to Air India, asking for a formal response to specific points about that aircraft's technical history, the plane that crashed. And they know this is serious journalism, this is very detailed, this is multi-source, detailed journalism. In return, we received a boilerplate reply, cut, copy, paste, an entirely vague reply to Republic's very, 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 very specific questions. So the question is, did the DGCA act too quickly in giving Air India a clean chit? I would like to say to the DGCA and to the central government, don't do this too quickly. People will hold the DGCA answerable. What is the hurry in giving a clean chit? On June 17, 5 days after the crash, the DGCA issued a statement saying, the recent surveillance conducted on Air India's Boeing 787 fleet did not reveal any major safety concerns. The aircraft and associated maintenance systems were found to be compliant with existing safety standards, unquote. But in light of these consistent technical faults, and I'm asking DGCA, what are you exactly doing? When you give a templated clean chit like that, hold it. When you give a templated clean chit, nothing wrong. And when Republic reports again and again, technical fault, technical snags, technical faults, technical snags, 29 snags, 35 days on the plane that crashed. And DGCA just said, everything okay, everything okay, everything okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. Then the people of the country will ask, is the DGCA doing enough? Is the regulator doing enough? Or is the regulator also looking the other way? Has the DGCA quietly lowered the bar for airworthiness, or given a clean chit, or showing leniency, or, as they say, understanding? I would request the DGCA to be understanding to the passengers of this country, not to a corporate. No exemptions, nothing under pressure, especially not in international sectors where missed slots cost airlines money. Let people lose slots, no problem, safety is paramount. Are Air India's commercial imperatives overriding operational safety, risking passenger lives? What are the passengers really paying for? Comfort and safety, primarily safety and then comfort, or a gamble with their lives in faulty machines? This is not about giving anyone a long rope. We don't have time. I am horrified at these 15 days that in the past documents we have show the DGCA gives Air India 15 days to respond. After holding someone primarily guilty, you give 15 days to respond. What happens in those 15 days? What happens to the hundreds of thousands of passengers who fly in those 15 days? Tata Group, Air India's parent company, has announced a compensation of 1.25 crore per victim in the June 10th crash. In total, how much is that? How much is that, ladies and gentlemen? But for the context, Tata Group's next net worth in 2022 was over 25 trillion. I'm not comparing the two. There is no need for a comparison there. But the fact is, there is no point in these payouts if you're not going to go to the root cause. And I request the DGCA to open its eyes tonight as to what's going on. Our reporting is for the people. There has to be a limit to the number of technical snags that are acceptable. Will we allow Air India to decide how many technical snags are okay? Tomorrow, today we mentioned 26 in 24 hours. Tomorrow, if there are 27, 30, 40, will we still be told boilerplate, templated reply? In the sense almost as if Air India or any other airline will decide how many snags it can live with? So here is the question no one wants to answer. What is the value of a common Indian's life? What is the value of the life of a passenger? Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere I believe that within these numbers, there is a bigger story. And that story is about just one word: accountability. And the feeling that I get sometimes, that corporates feel that if they are big corporates, and governments feel if they are big governments, that accountability comes later. Handling things is primarily important. Republic believes, and we are the voice of the people, this is not a point to handle. Look at the visuals, look at the horror of what happened on the day of the crash. And remember how quickly we forget what we promised on that night, that we will never let this happen again. It is inconceivable to me to see here today the level of tolerance that we have as a country, and for the level of tolerance that companies have, even after the day of the crash. Today is, ladies and gentlemen, Friday the 20th of June. It's 1 week since the crash, just over a week. Look how people are taking things for granted again. Look at some media houses doing sympathy interviews with the bosses and owners of these airlines. And ask yourself whether this is acceptable. It is not. The DGCA should not give Air India or any airline a longer rope than is absolutely necessary. In fact, they should tighten the ropes much more than they are doing now. Let's debate.
Biggest ever aviation crisis has hit Air India. 26 Air India and 3 Air India Express flights have been cancelled, the highest cancellation in 24 hours. 13 of them due to technical reasons and rest for operational reasons. 12 of the cancelled flights are international flights.
In last 1 week, Air India has cancelled n number of flights. As per the log sheet accessed by Republic TV, it shows that 26 Air India flights were cancelled in one day, that is June 28th. So far, it is the largest cancellations by Air India, despite the fact that Air India has been facing constant cancellation after the Ahmedabad plane crash, either because of operational issue or the technical snag.
Republic asked specific questions to Air India.
Could you please confirm if 26 flights have indeed been cancelled today? If so, what is the reason behind these cancellations? As this appears to be the highest number of cancellations on a single day, is the airline initiating any internal inquiry into the matter?
In response, Air India argued that these are planned cancellations. But the log sheet accessed by Republic clearly states technical issues as the reason of cancellation. Aviation experts say that technical reasons would be linked to aircraft maintenance issues. Republic sent another set of pointed questions, forcing Air India to admit to 26 cancellations. Air India confirmed that 13 of these 26 flights have been cancelled due to unpredictable technical issues. Sources tell Republic that Civil Aviation Ministry has summoned Air India officials and pulled up the airline.
Top sources have told Republic TV that Aviation Ministry has summoned Air India officials and have asked them either to fix the constant technical snag or cut their flight operations by 50%.
Air India is in a deep mess. Ahmedabad plane crash and the technical snags in the aftermath of the crash have exposed the maintenance issues. Documents with Republic TV indicates that the crashed aircraft experienced 29 technical snags in 35 days. The nation surely deserves to know what has gone wrong. Was the airline already facing these issues from before, or it has come to light now?
I must admit, when I hear of these snags now, I myself horrified. But what horrifies me more, actually, is the level of tolerance that Air India has for the snags. They seem to want to convey to us, it's okay, what is Republic getting so worked up about? We have snags. If you have 26 snags in a 24-hour period, what's the big deal? That seems to be the kind of acceptance, blasé attitude that Air India has, which is terrible, Shawan. I want Shawan and Harsha, first of all, Shawan, between you and Harsha, tell us what this correspondence with Air India has been about. What's this latest situation of snags that we are facing?
Well, in fact, Arnab, this afternoon around 1 o'clock, when we accessed the log sheets, we decided that we'll send a questionnaire to Air India, giving them an opportunity to respond.
Right.
It turns out, because we deliberately did not tell them that we had certain internal documents, and we were hoping that they would be transparent, because the key word in my first set of questions were just asking them whether at all there have been 26 cancellations or not.
Correct.
Second, I said, if these
26 cancellations.
Yes. And I said, if these are true, then what is the reason behind the cancellations? And third, if at all there have been 26 cancellations, shouldn't the airline be ordering some sort of a probe? Air India was under the impression that perhaps, like any other channel, we wouldn't have asked any further questions, and they came up with a templated answer. And this answer was this: the cancellations you are referring to are planned cancellations. The reason why Air India says that these are planned cancellations is because they are unaware of the fact that we had full details, researched every route. In fact, we had reached out to certain passengers also, because this is about the passengers. The passengers were actually facing the trouble here. They say that the passengers were already told about it. They were told that on the 19th of June, only all passengers who were affected were informed in advance. Thereafter, we decided that it is time to reveal that we have something more, and it is time that Air India stops hoodwinking everyone, because if they are hoodwinking us, they are also hoodwinking the regulators, because if they say that this is not true, then they have also lied to the regulators, which includes the Ministry of Civil Aviation.
Thank you.
That is the reason why a little later, around 5 o'clock, a second set of questionnaire was sent to them. This time, we revealed that we have the log sheets. The log sheet, or no, it has full details: date, time, the aircraft number, the aircraft tail number, the route, and also the status, as well as the cancellation code. Now, the cancellation code, for the benefit of our viewers, there are two types: operational and technical. So we had an idea of how many flights were cancelled due to technical reasons, how many were cancelled due to operational reasons, and this is what we asked in the second set of questions, where we specifically said...
Just one minute, I'll hold it there, because this is an interesting point. What is coming across, viewers, is, you see, what Shravan is saying is that today there are two kinds of journalism. What he's being polite about, I can say I'm a little older than him, I can say that. Two kinds of, there's PR journalism and there's investigative journalism. The PR journalism, they know. And, you know, they'll try to weep a little and do stuff like that. Air India did not know that we have the detailed information with us. And they tried to say that we have cancelled Y26, we have cancelled 46 planes. And we have decided this earlier, and we've informed everyone earlier. They thought they would outsmart Republic. Now, they got a shock there after that, didn't they, Harsha? They got a shock later when we sent them another reply, and this is fantastic. We, by the way, haven't even told Harsha, we haven't even told Air India 1% of what we know about what's going on inside that airline. So, we had the details with us, didn't we? So, we sent them a second letter.
Yes, Arnab, and we had the details since morning. Air India was very hesitant to respond to the mail and in the start. But later on, when we told them we have the details, I told them exactly. We mailed them the route, the Air India flight number, the operational and technical snag issue. At that time, they got to know that they can't manipulate us, they can't outsmart us, and we have all the details. And then second mail was given. The response came from them at around 8:30 p.m. where they accepted, and they were trying to divert the entire issue by stating that it is 24 hours. But the detail which we have clearly states that DGCA and Aviation Ministry both were sent the response and mail from Air India of 24 hours not, but only of 20th June, where it clearly stated that there were technical snags in most of the aircraft. If they would have tried to manipulate us, that means they were trying to fool regulators and Aviation Ministry. And when we picked up that point, they at that point they got to know that they can't fool us.
No, but then the point there is that my advice to the Air India team would be that please, when you're dealing with Republic, know that we know our facts much better than any media house in the country. And then when they replied to us, they said the list of 26 disrupted flights. I want you to complete that point, but I want to point out here that there are all these airlines, the details we have flights DXB to Hyderabad, 19 June, technical. Bombay, BOM to JDH. What is JDH? Jeddah. DXB is Dubai?
Jeddah.
So Dubai to Hyderabad, Bombay to Jeddah, GOI to Bomb. GOI is? Goa to Bombay, 20th June, technical. Bombay to Goa, 20th June, technical. Hyderabad to Bombay, 20th 20th June, technical. MAA, what is MAA? Chennai. Chennai to Bombay, 20th
Madras,
June, technical.
Madras.
Ahmedabad to Delhi, 20th June, technical. All technical reasons. How are they telling you that we pre-planned technical glitches, Shawan? This is oxymoronic to a level that Mr. Chandrasekharan should really pull up and sack some of the people in his team. Yes.
Well, in fact, we thought that they would be gracious enough to admit their mistake here, but what they've essentially done is this, that they said 46 flights have been cancelled. That was the first response, and that's the important aspect, because they thought that we did not have details of which were operational reasons or which are technical. Now, technical essentially means that it is related to the aircraft's maintenance and a few other issues. Operational would be, which is external factors, and that is the reason why we did not even put that out. Now, clearly, all of this has happened, and Air India's last response, I just want to add this, they've added simply saying this includes instances such as the ingestion of a foreign object in the airspeed sensor of one of the aircraft operating, bird strike on another, damage to an aircraft component by external factors, overheating of fuel tanks. That also makes it 4. What about the reasons for the other aircrafts? Again, cherry picking and telling us that these are the 4 reasons. Bird hit is what they have basically cited. It could be one. But what about the rest? There are 13. There are 13 flights that we are essentially talking about. And before that, were they really lying to us by simply saying that they have informed all the passengers? And how is it possible?
How is it possible?
The passengers that, look here, we have a technical issue.
No, they can't do that. I mean, they're trying to be clever by half. They're trying to play with words, but it's so wrong. It's so wrong. It's ethically wrong. It's ethically wrong. But anyway, Air India, you know, you must be more understanding that truth will come out. You can't PR this. Shawan and Harsha, please stay. I'm opening this up to debate. What a mess. We have J. Venkateshwar Rao, former Air India. We have with us Tanushri Bhalla. She's a former 737 Boeing pilot, and she's also an attorney, jurist at the Supreme Court. And we have Group Captain G.P. Bajpai, former Air Force, former flight safety consultant with Air India. We have Captain Minu Wadia, former Air India pilot, founder of the Federation of Indian Pilots, Devesh Agarwal, aviation expert, and Subhash Goyal, chairman of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, Aviation and Tourism Committee. Captain Minu Wadia, good to see you. What a mess. I mean, the Air India is saying that they planned technical snags. I mean, what is going on here? Sir, in your view.
Okay, first of all, I do not represent Air India, so I don't know why you're even asking me these questions. I've come only to talk of the safety aspects in this country and how it can be removed. As far as you're holding the DGCA accountable for various faults, we have been holding DGCA accountable for the last decades, a few decades, on various grounds, and essentially on safety issues. So as far as Air India is concerned, I have no clue, and I cannot answer for Air India or even support them.
So it's so many snags. I mean, like, you know, so many technical snags. In a day, 15, 20, 26. And this particular plane, which crashed, 29 technical snags in 35 days on that plane, AI 171. Tolerance levels at Air India must be very high to snags. Mr. Wadia, Captain Wadia, what do you think?
I have no clue. If you know Arnab, I've been on your channel many times, and I've retired from Air India more than 20 years back. And I have no clue how Air India operates now. I'm sure it's a totally different airline from what it used to be. And therefore, I do not even...
Why do you feel it's a different airline from what it used to be, sir?
Earlier, it was a Tata airline.
But now it's a Tata airline.
Well, it's a Tata airline by name only. And I have a lot of differences with the existing functioning of Air India. And that is not what I am not representing Air India, nor do I...
No, but 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Sir, 1 minute, sir. Captain Wadia, we know each other. We go back sometime. I have nothing but regard for you. You have stood out as a man of conscience. And I know we've spoken on difficult subjects earlier. You've stuck your neck out. So when Captain Minu Wadia, who's the founder of the Federation of Indian Pilots, says, earlier it was a Tata airline, he's saying something there. And I will, with respect, sir, ask you to elaborate on that. Sir, we must, in the interest of the people of this country now, speak up, sir. Hundreds of thousands of passengers take the flights every day. So today people are scared to take Air India. It's a reality.
In those days, I used to interact personally with JRD Tata and Ratan Tata. And let me tell you, they themselves are personally interested, very interested in aviation safety. And where things were concerned, they went out of the way to find out, ask, and rectify things. These days, after so many years, I cannot justify Air India. Maybe totally right, maybe totally wrong. I do not represent Air India.
No, you don't represent. But when you said earlier it was a Tata airline,
yes.
You feel that's not the same culture now. You feel that's not the same culture now. So would Ratan, okay, let me put it this way to you. So would Ratan Tata, who you knew well, and you go back to JRD, you knew JRD, but you knew Ratan Tata even better. And I know that he had a lot of time for you. Would he have allowed this situation, sir? How would he have responded? How would he have felt? Because getting Air India back was a big deal for Ratan Tata, right? But would he have dealt with the situation this way?
Certainly not, and I'll elaborate on that if you want.
Please.
Now, I had gone to inform him on safety aspects of the Federation of Indian Pilots, and I was given a time to be with him for 10 minutes only. And there were other people waiting for him. I went and when he started asking me questions, I said, Mr. Tata, I've come to tell you some things. Please let me finish first. So he let me finish. After 10 minutes, I was about to get up. He says, no, Captain, sit down. I want to know about this. I want to know all on safety issues. He kept on asking questions on safety issues. I was feeling uncomfortable because there were other people waiting. He says, no, I want to know this. And do you know how much that 10 minutes meeting took? 1 hour and 40 minutes. That is how much Mr. Ratan Tata was interested in aviation safety, essentially. On the airline, commercial aspects is a totally different thing. But safety, I know for a fact he was very interested.
From the heart, not to make money, not monetarily. He was interested in safety because he was interested in his brand, in the Tata brand and the Air India brand, which was about trust. But today it's not. And I can hear that pain in your voice tonight. I want you hear that, Mr. Venkateshwar Rao. You want to add to that what Captain Minu Wadia said?
Yes, Arnab. Let me be very honest with you. My father was also very close to Mr. JRD Tata. I'm second generation Air Indian, and I have flown with Captain Minu Wadia, and I know what he stands for. He's a perfectionist to the core. Having said that, what we are questioning is the present management of Air India. And when I say present, it is not after 23 when Tata took over, but the falling of standards from 2008 onwards. Let me make it very clear to you, from 2008 onwards, DGCA and Air India were exactly Siamese twins, joint at the hip. They covered up for each other, and the same cover-up is going on even today. And I'm sure that the minister is being lied, misled, but unfortunately, the minister needs to listen to voices of dissent also at times. It is not that always a man is complaining because he's got nothing to do. We have documentary evidence, just as you said, you have the documents. I also speak only when I have the documents. And I have documents galore on this. 2 writ petitions are pending. 120 criminal cases are pending against Air India for the frauds that they're indulged in. This company has been run down. Air India has been run down. And let me tell you, Mr. JRD Tata or Ratan Tata would not have brooked one violation. And let me tell you, Air India has the best of engineers.
Keep changing on the right.
But it is the management and the top management that is totally responsible for this. And there have been many people who have climbed over people's shoulders by indulging in frauds, indulging in fudging of reports, indulging in fudging of audits. I have all the documents with me. I speak with documents. Like in 23, there was a auditor. She was not even authorized to audit those reports. 13 reports she audited. She was going on a vacation and she signed an audit report. You think Mr. Tata, the Tatas would have allowed this, the original Tatas? They would have definitely not allowed this. This woman would not even found space in Air India had the Tatas been alive, or the actual Tatas been running the airline. I have paid a very heavy price for where I'm sitting today, Mr. Goswami. And like I said, the minister's ears are always fed But I hope that the present minister, who's supposed to be US returned, MBA, at least understands to talk to the dissenters. If we are dissenting, there has to be a reason. Throw us out if you think that we are lying. I have no issues with that. But at least listen to them. But what happens is, there is so much of lies, there's so much of chicanery that the DGCA and Air India together will pull Air India down. Let me make that very
No, but the
clear.
point is that it's also always now becoming, Tanushree, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's what it's become. And every time, Devesh Agarwal ji, I want to bring in Devesh Agarwal, Tanushree, and we open up the debate with everyone. The one answer we hear, you ask Air India anything, they will give a one reply. One line they will not miss. DGCA cleared us. DGCA cleared us. DGCA cleared us. DGCA has cleared. And if DGCA has cleared, I would ask a simple question, Devesh ji. Has DGCA cleared Air India to run in the mess that it is running? Is DGCA taking guarantee? Is the central government taking guarantee for the way Air India is functioning? Politicians must hear this. Is our central government represented in this manner through the Civil Aviation Ministry and the DGCA, which comes under the central government? Is it taking responsibility for the way in which Air India is running? Devesh Agarwal, can it do that? I'm asking you this question. You're joining us from Bangalore. So what's your take? Can DGCA own up to the way Air India is running? Should it?
Thanks, Arnab. Thanks for having me. When it comes to the DGCA, I think every panelist on tonight and pretty much everybody in the aviation industry knows that it is not a truly independent organization. And for a regulator to be effective, it needs to be truly independent. In 2014, the cabinet approved the formation of I think a CAA. The idea being that passengers would contribute some, 25, 50 rupees every flight, and that would be used to budget or to fund a central aviation authority.
So don't passengers pay enough anyway? We are all being fleeced. We are being fleeced, sir. Flights from Delhi to Prayagraj cost 50,000 rupees during the Kumbh.
Sir, I'm just saying, the thing is the DGCA is not an independent organization. It is under the, under the control of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and therefore it is subject to political, shall we say, pressures. Let's look at our existing DGCA.
So how can Air India put pressure on the central government, sir? Who would believe that? You think, how can Air India put pressure on the central government?
Sir, we have to put pressure on the central government. It is you who are the protector of the voice of the people. You need to carry our voice to the government.
No, I'm not understanding. My question is, who would believe that Air India has the clout to put pressure on the central government?
Sir, you know how mega corporations work. It is not just limited to India, it is all across the world. But I'm saying...
So Tatas are not so powerful to put pressure on the central government.
But sir, what I was also trying to say, for far too long, you had a situation where the ministry was the owner of the airport, was the owner of the airline, and was the controller of the regulator, and also the controller of the air accident investigator. So how can you have true independence and proper oversight when everybody is sort of connected at the hip?
Who's connected at the hip, sir? Please let on with it. I want people to know. I want all the skeletons to come out. Don't you want the skeletons to come out? Tanushree is with us tonight. I asked this question to Brojen Bora, who's calling in from Guwahati, my city, the beautiful city of Guwahati. And Brojen, what's your question? I believe all skeletons should come out right now, shouldn't it? Brojen, what do you think?
I think that DGCA, it is fault of DGCA. DGCA is nothing doing. That's like a state government organism. I've been to numbers of times in DGCA when I was working at the Delhi. DGCA is their fault. Their fault. They do not.
You're blaming DGCA. Yeah, but
DGCA.
Okay, Brojendra. Thank you very much. Tanushree, My story tonight, 26 cancellations in 26 hours, in 24 hours, right? And Tata Group, Air India, seem to think that we are overreacting to this. What's your take?
You see, unfortunately, I couldn't hear Mr. Agarwal very clearly due to some technical glitch, but I have a question here. You see, we are all very familiar with DGCA's functioning. And, you know, suddenly the authority says, the regulator says, we found a suspect fleet, we grounded it, and then we inspected the whole fleet. And it's not even a Cessna 152, it's a behemoth of an aircraft. And you're saying that you inspected the whole fleet within 6 days and you cleared it. How does this happen? You can't, even a PMR isn't cleared in 6 days at the DGCA. How has this happened? That is an answer that we need to know. Secondly, you see, as you said, that the DGCA is supposed to be a watchdog for whistleblowers and well-meaning crew and passengers' safety and protection. But right now what is happening, and it has been happening for many, many years, that, you know, the DGCA is being used as a tool by the airlines to, at times, threaten well-meaning crew, whistleblowers, and even at times suppress passenger safety. So I think it's high time that they act as watchdogs. And why are they so tight-lipped about it? Let them
Tanushree, are passengers being compromised? Can I ask? Are passengers being compromised? Are passengers being compromised, Tanushree?
Sorry?
Are passengers being compromised? Is passenger safety being compromised?
Absolutely.
It is.
That needs to be looked into. And they need to answer how did they clear this.
Are passengers being compromised? So my question to you, Group Captain Bajpai, just one question. Everyone today is a flyer or potential flyer. Are they being compromised?
Absolutely correct.
Give me the inside story of what goes on, sir. You've been in these circles.
First, to your question, is the passengers getting compromised?
Yes, sir.
I have my coursemate group. Today, in the WhatsApp group, I have seen 10 to 15% of my coursemates have cancelled the tickets.
Cancelled tickets?
Yes.
On Air India or all airlines?
Air India alone. So it has pained me. I have a lot of affection for the Air India, like any other countryman. So with that deep pain, I have some hard facts and figure. With that, I will expect Air India to do a lot of introspection in a just, fair, and
go on, sir. Reveal everything. Reveal everything, sir.
Pure, transparent manner. To begin with, in my opinion, in any
keep changing on the right.
In any corporation, in any MNC,
keep changing on the right. Yeah.
Machine and the material takes back sheet. The frontmost and most important thing is the manpower, human resource. When Air India was taken over by Tata, the approximate strength of Air India was 13,000. All of us, including media, said it's a white elephant. We are draining our taxpayers' money. You will be shocked to know, as on date, the present strength of employees of Air India is 26,000 or more, without any inclusion of additional flight. Now, whatever study I have done, based on that, I am speaking. It started with the privatization. When they went for the privatization, the VRS scheme was offered, and more than 50% experienced, knowledgeable, skillful people, old employees of Air India were offered that thing. Somehow, to me, the VRS is never successful in any organization, because what happens, the educated, knowledgeable, skillful, and educated people take the option of VRS and they join alternate employment. Followed by, when the manpower status came low, they went immediately for hiring through the poaching of...
That's a bigger issue, sir. Now, I'm only focused on safety. My point is, my simple and elementary point is, sorry to cut you right there in the middle, sir. The point is, people are flying tonight, people watching the debate tonight, Subhash Goyal, are not feeling safe. We are putting out this information not to trouble Air India, but to remind Air India about their obligations. Their only concern, Subhash Goyal, is how do we manage the PR? They are not concerned. They seem to be angry that we are putting these questions to them. Subhash Goyal, please. On the right. Subhash Goyal, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arnab. I think firstly I must compliment you for excellent investigative reporting. And I really feel that Air India needs to be overhauled completely And
Put the
we should
graphics of
also
that on the right-hand
focus-
side of the story.
We should also focus on what is the solution.
Exclusive.
We are all aware of the problem. The problem is there, and that is why flights are being cancelled. That is why accidents are taking place. That is why a lot of passengers are cancelling their flight. But as rightly mentioned by one of the speakers, that we all love Air India because India's name is attached to it. And we want Air India and we want the entire aviation industry, all the other Indian carriers to succeed. And to do this, I think, Arnab, if we can focus, maybe have another debate on what is the solution.
No, sir, 26 cancellations. So the only solution is to tell Air India, I can see what Air India is doing. You know what Air India is doing, Mr. Goyal? Air India is saying, why are you asking me? Ask DGCA. They have cleared 27 of my 33 planes. In fact, I am the great guy. I have subjected myself to voluntary. They say, look at the, I have voluntary continuing to implement enhanced pre-flight safety checks as if they are doing an act of generosity. I mean, my point is, Tanushri, somewhere in this, the attitude is wrong. The attitude is simple, Tanushri. Simple.
I agree.
DGCA has given us a clean sheet. Who are you to ask?
The cavalier attitude, I think, has been, clear from a very, very long time.
Breaking lines below.
And I think we as the people and you as media need to question them. In fact, I would actually request the Republic to call in Director of Air Safety, Director Airworthiness, and question them on this as to where they stand on this and what they think.
No, they won't come to us. The owners of Air India will only go on channels which ask them, how bad do you feel? And who will put breaking news stickers saying, almost a tear fell out. You know, they want PR stunts. They don't want actual questions asked. Let Mr. Chandrasekharan come on my program. I'll ask him. These questions nobody wants to answer. Minu Wadia wants to come in. Minu Wadia, please. Captain Wadia.
Okay, I'll make a very drastic statement, but most of you will be shocked to hear.
Sir.
I have repeatedly maintained, and with full knowledge, that if at all the safety in India is not as it should be, it is essentially due to the DGCA, to the impediments that DGCA poses in aviation safety in India. That is why our situation is in where it is today. Now, if you ask me to elaborate, I'll take about 100 hours to elaborate all the points. So let's leave it at that.
Sir, you started by saying that had Ratan Tata been around, he wouldn't have allowed this.
Sure.
Do you still stand by that?
100%, absolutely right.
And now you're shifting the blame to the DGCA?
Not now. I've been shifting this blame for the last couple of decades. If you see many of my letters, including to letters to the Prime Minister, where the DGCA has actually obstructed aviation safety being enhanced in this country.
But sir, in the middle of all this, there's this convenient relationship because Air India is simply shooting off the shoulders of DGCA, General Captain Wadia. Air India every time keeps reminding DGCA has cleared us, DGCA has cleared us. Will DGCA take responsibility for the safety of Air India beyond a point? Because Air India seems to be quoting them non-stop, sir.
You're right. I agree with you. In fact, I'll go further to state that when the rules have been broken, if pilots have been asked to break their duty time relationship, Air India has told them, we've got dispensation from DGCA. How many pilots are in a position sitting on an aircraft to ask the DGCA questions? Whether dispensation has been given? And let me also tell you that when pilots and flight engineers who have pointed out safety aspects which have been breached by Air India, they have been sacked. Not one or two, but many have been sacked.
Pilots have been sacked. Pilots have been sacked?
Yes.
By Air India?
Yes.
For raising serious questions on safety?
Oh, yes.
Shouldn't they be complimented? Shouldn't they be promoted instead? I would have thought that if a pilot, there's nobody better than a pilot because he's the user. When the user tells you there's a problem, that person should be rewarded. Are you saying that pilots are sacked for speaking the truth? Captain Wadia?
Yes, absolutely.
Then why don't the pilots Speak up and reveal what's going on, because I'm listening to this and I'm feeling scared. This is terrible.
I have something to add to this. So,
yes, Tanushree, you want to say something to what Captain Wadia just said?
Yes, I want to add something to this. I absolutely, with the limited hearing that I had, I absolutely agree with Captain Wadia, sir, that pilots who raise issues, who blow whistles, they are not only sacked, they are systematically and systemically persecuted. And the DGCA is used as a tool to threaten not just pilots, but crew who raise issues. And in fact, about raising voices, I think pilots guilds need to do a better job. But then there is that added fact that when pilot guilds, the people who manage them, they are found to be actually doing their jobs, they are also systematically persecuted. In fact, if the airline goes down, it becomes tough for them to even find another job.
Comment, please.
It is that bad.
So, but then see, I'll tell you, Tanushree, I know Venkat, you want to come in. See, I'm listening to all of this as a passenger. All the people watching Republic have seen all the work that we have done over the last 1 week, right? Now the point is, all we are thinking is, what happened? All these passengers who fly on Air India, who is going to take responsibility for their safety on a regular basis? DGCA, Air India, or they conveniently point in the other direction when there is a problem and come together when things are okay? This is it's a relationship of convenience, Venkat. It's a relationship of convenience.
Yeah, exactly. Let me make it. I am a living example of being terminated for filing 2 writ petitions on flight safety violation in the Bombay High Court.
Come from the airline.
I got penalized for it. The Bombay High Court tells me that you need to report it.
Why can't
for
DGCA
reporting,
have
I got sacked. But that's a secondary issue. But the fact remains is that every person who speaks the truth is targeted, because the profits are more important to them. Their promotions are more important to them. And every person I spoke about just now have been promoted from the level of GM to right up to directors. And this lady that I was talking about will worm her way back into flight safety, because there is a lot of quid pro quo in terms of gratuities also, Arnab. And I'm making this statement with full responsibility. I have documents where there have been practically 1 lakh violations. I have documents where there's a report that India-Australia operations were 25 times, had a risk of 25 times the normal percentage. So I have all these documents. The courts have been lax, and I don't know for what reason, but I am fighting it tooth and nail.
We have a lot of callers. 1 minute. We have a lot of callers, right? I have to take some callers. Yeah. We'll take callers. I'll request very briefly. First, Sai. Sai is from Bengaluru. Sai? Sai? Are you online, Sai?
Yeah, I'm online. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, Sai. Quickly. Let's come in straight to the debate. Yeah, you have everyone on here. I've mentioned the names here. Yeah.
Right. So let me just take 1 quick minute. I've been going through all the analysis which has been done by multiple people across YouTube, mainly because my uncle and aunt are flying in the next couple of weeks to US in Air India AI-126. So we were quite curious, and at the same time, in a very dicey state, to see if it is safe to travel in this particular flight. Now, there were a lot of theories which came across. One of which was, cargoes being loaded and, overloaded and stuff like that. One thing I would like to say, since we are talking about DGCA is a governing body. They have a certain checklist, and it is very easy for an airline to foolproof all those checklists and say, yes, we are doing good, and find the loopholes and go against it. Right?
You think they've gamed the system? You think the airlines have gamed the system?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's very worrying. Sai, I got Avinash coming up next. Avinash, where are you calling from, Avinash? Avinash.
Hi, Arnab. I'm calling from Bangalore.
Go on. Yeah, please, names up. Yeah. Go on, Avinash.
Thank you for your format, Arnab. It's really unique compared to the other news channels. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so my question is, have we become so immune to human life? Because very easily, Arnab, that could be me or you on that flight, and you would lose our life.
Absolutely.
Right? So have we turned, it's just an event and we forget it and move on? It's not that way.
I think so. I'll let Minu Wadia take that. He's such an experienced man.
White collar crime is what is going on behind these corporates. And I'm not just telling the airlines.
Yeah.
It is all the big guys, banks, airlines, all the corporates.
People taken for granted. That's all, People like Republic Media Network, only network tonight. Are you noticing Avinash making a big deal of this? Everyone wants to move on. Everyone wants to do PR interviews with the corporates, sit down, relax, have a cup of tea, move on, forgetting that they could be on a flight tomorrow. That's so serious. Good point there. We have Devendranath. Devendranath is calling from Hyderabad. Devendranath, you there?
Good evening, Arnab. This is Devendranath from Hyderabad.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Arnab. I have an important issue related to Airports Authority of India. Yeah, we have seen a lot of buildings coming up, mushrooming around the airport in the air funnel zone, and these buildings are supposed to be, the builders of the buildings are supposed to obtain the NOC from Airport Authority of India as far as the height of the buildings are concerned.
This is another scam. This is another scam. Devendranath, let me tell you, another scam. Giving clearances, NOC to permissions right near airports. No, Mr. Modi should have this full investigation as to who gave these NOCs. You see the levels of construction going on. And then you are told bird hits could be a reason. You see the levels of construction, see the level of human habitation near airports. Somebody gave the clearance, right? Minu Wadia, isn't that not an important issue as well? People are talking about this.
It is a very important issue, and first of all, anyone who gives the clearance is not authorized to give the clearance. First of all, I'll give you an example of Bombay itself. If you saw the old control tower which was built, which was against ICAO standards, I was asked by the government to be on a panel to investigate that. A few of us had investigated that incident and given the report to the government that the control tower had to be demolished. It was eventually demolished, but if you read, I think even what I'm going to tell you today, even the Airport Authority chairman or the DGCA may not be aware, ask them to read the report again, which we have given. We have even asked them to demolish the building which is attached to the air traffic controllers. To my best of my mind, it is still existing. If the people who control aviation cannot follow the rules, how do you expect people outside, the collector or the government people, to enforce the law? It is absolutely ridiculous. And further to that question which you said about what are we doing about it, we have gone to the court as far as safety issues are concerned. The Bombay High Court has given an order, a written order to the DGCA, hold an immediate inquiry. Till today, the inquiry was never held. They'd rather be in contempt of court than to face.
My God. All this is coming out now. Viewers, remember, I'm running the last 2 minutes. Siddharth Haldar from Kolkata. You see, viewers, just remember, before you come in, Siddharth, all this stuff that is coming in now has not come out, which means we've been living with it. Which means, Mr. Bajpai, it's a chalta hai attitude.
I agree with you, sir.
Right? And then there is an accident and all politicians, everybody 2 days sorry and then back to normal. Right? Isn't that worrying?
It is. In fact, I am afraid the way things are going on, that we should not end up in case Air India does not improve. They don't pull up their shocks. I am afraid we should not end up in a situation where this country is having a single major airline and then that airline enjoys the monopolistic...
The problem is this, I'll say it openly. This government says it is against monopoly. If the government is against monopoly, right, then the nation wants to know. And this question will be asked, everyone on. If the government is against monopoly, why have we allowed a duopoly in the aviation sector? What are our regulatory bodies doing? Two companies effectively control 90% of everything. Is this good? Siddharth, what's your question? I'm coming to you, Tanushree, everyone on. Siddharth, what's your question?
Taking me in the line. So my question is very simple. I'm a regular flyer. So after hearing all this discussion, now I'm a little bit worried because there is a serious concern which we can understand with the DGC also. So the underlying question of mine is that is this kind of problem only is lying with Air India or with the other aviation player also?
Okay, this question, very good question, Siddharth. I have less time. I'll let someone answer that. Minu Wadia has gone, so I'll let Tanushree answer that. Is it only Air India? Devesh, what do you think, Devesh? Is it only Air India or other airlines also?
No, sir, there is another airline which has the same red and white colors, which doesn't even have a fleet enough to put that its published schedule, which the DGCA blindly accepts. And we know the reason why the DGCA blindly accepts.
Why? This is not
done. The government is not allowing foreign airlines to increase their presence in India. Airfares are rising from India because simply there is no capacity. We are not willing to let foreign airlines come to India, expecting Air India to expand, expecting Indigo to expand, and that's how we are, in a way, propagating the monopoly. If these are truly international caliber airlines, then they should be able to compete with international caliber airlines.
I think the one and only way to deal with the situation, food for thought, I'll say, viewers, and this question you can ask everyone. If the government of India is against the principle of monopoly and monopoly is against people, why do we have an effective duopoly in the civil aviation sector of this country? Yes, you want to come in quickly, Tanushree, 5 seconds, very short of time, but please.
I would like to add something on the regulatory aspect here, sir. That, apart from what is happening within the aircrafts and the airlines, the government responsibility, in 2018 itself, the High Court of Delhi clearly directed the government to stop high-rise construction around airports and particularly around the IGI. Despite that, high-rise construction has been rampantly going on.
Yeah.
In fact, as of 2025, specialized authorization for
short of time, but I get your point, and I wish my point is also understood here. We're speaking for the people. We cannot trust right now either Air India or the DGCA. But I don't think it's limited to one airline. I thank you very much for joining us. I'll see you after the weekend. Good night, and ladies and gentlemen, only for now. Goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDA चटनी पुदीना मसाला।